Namaste everyone.
Namaste.
Namaste. We have seen in our previous videos, Vijayanagara architecture is an amalgamation of Cholas, Chalukyas, Pandyas and also Kakatiya styles. And we have also seen the architectural marvels built by Vijayanagaras in our previous videos. As we have seen in our previous videos, the founders of Vijayanagara Empire were
Harihara and Bukkaraya.
Yes, Harihara and Bukkaraya, who previously worked under Kakatiya King Prataparudra. Yes, Prataparudra. After the fall of Kakatiyas, one day they came across a very unusual scene. They noticed that the hounds were being chased away by a hare, and they thought, this is very strange. There must be something in this land that even a meek hare is brave enough to put up with hounds and chase them away. They later approached their guru. Do you know or do you remember their guru?
Vijayanagara Swami.
Yes, Vijayanagara Swami, and narrated what happened. And Vijayanagara Swami asked them to lay a foundation of their empire on that very spot. And Vijayanagara Swami worshipped Sharadamba. Do you know who is Sharadamba?
Saraswati.
Yes, you remember that. Well done. And passed on blessings to Harihara and Bukkaraya to lay foundation at the spot where they previously saw hare chasing away hounds. Archaeologists noticed that Vijayanagara was built in a circular form like a Sri Chakra, and that Virupaksha temple Gopuram almost looks like Meru, the Sri Chakra. And we have also seen in our previous videos about these Raya Gopurams and Virupaksha temple, right? These were very great structures built in and around Vijayanagara. Vijayanagara and also Hampi emerged as one of the largest cities in the world in those days, and it had a population of over 500,000.
Whoa!
Yes, that's amazing. Yes, it's a huge city in those days. All this sounds brilliant, doesn't it? Yeah, but there is a huge challenge for them. That was to develop the empire. The area where they chose to establish the kingdom was an arid region full of rocks. Well, those rocks came very handy, building all those beautiful structures, but the drawback was that it is an arid area with not much water supply.
So why would you make something there?
Yeah, how did they survive in that arid region, and how did they build that huge empire there? So let's see the greatest achievements apart from the great structures they have built, but the achievement was to supply water to that huge city. Let's look at their great achievement, that is their water irrigation and also water supply to city of Hampi. Let's analyze the challenges faced by them and how they came over them. The first challenge was Hampi is a rocky region. We have seen that and we have discussed a second ago. But apart from it being a rocky region, it was at an elevated position. And they have the second challenge was that they have a water source, that is Tungabhadra river. It is not, it is a plus point, yes, I agree, but it's not a perennial river.
What's a perennial river?
Yes, that's a good question. That means it doesn't flow throughout a year. It is a rain-fed river.
Which means this is not rain-fed?
Yes, it's not coming from glaciers like Ganga. You know, other rivers which are flowing throughout the year, which are coming from glaciers, would flow throughout the year. But whereas Tungabhadra would only flow when there is rain. And then Tungabhadra, not only that, was 24 kilometers away from Hampi.
What?
Yeah, Tungabhadra river. Hampi was not next to it. So they managed to get water for this massive city in spite of the drawbacks.
How?
We have heard of aqueducts, haven't
They
we?
used Roman aqueduct? The big
but-
one in Segovia?
Oh, Segovia, yes, good remembering. But you have heard of Roman aqueducts, but people have not much heard much about Vijayanagara aqueducts.
Oh.
We have all got knowledge of Segovia in Spain, which ran at least 15 kilometers from the water supply and into the city, maybe maximum 17 kilometers long aqueducts in Segovia. But Vijayanagara aqueducts ran much longer because from its water supply it had to go at least 24 kilometers to the outskirts of Hampi,
That's
and
a long.
that is longer.
Really long.
Yes, it is. And then it would branch into smaller canals into the city to supply water to the entire
That's
city.
very smart.
Yes, as Hampi was at a higher altitude than Tungabhadra, the water was taken in batches and buffered before lifting it up further because the altitude of Hampi was higher than Tungabhadra. Another thing they did was water harvesting and feeding it into pushkarinis and near the temples. You know the pushkarinis, the stepped well in Vijayanagara that we have seen in our previous video. The water came by harvesting water from the nearby mountains. They built a percolation pit and let the water sink in on top of the mountains, and then it naturally got filtered and clear and clean water was fed into pushkarinis in Vijayanagara and Hampi. Over 500,000 people had good water facilities despite of that region being an arid region. They even had a huge bath for the queen, and there was another much larger bath for public to use in the center of the city. So Vijayanagara remained a strong empire from 1336 till 1565.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and after the Battle of Talikota, which was in 1565, which was fought between Aliya Raya and also the combined forces under Delhi Sultanate, empire came to an end, significant because its power significantly decreased. When Delhi Sultanate, the combined three forces, have killed Aliya Raya, they destroyed and plundered the whole of Vijayanagara and Hampi. But the Virupaksha temple was not destroyed by the Muslims. Historians usually say that the emblem of Vijayanagara was engraved on the walls of Virupaksha temple, and the emblem contained a boar, a sun and a moon, and also a dagger. Historians thought that because there's a boar, and Muslims usually consider that as haram, they did not destroy or plunder Virupaksha temple, although they have destroyed most of the kingdom. You know what? People think that that is the same spot where the hare scared away the hounds. Yes, and Virupaksha's temple still stands nice and sturdy, and it is completely intact. Yes. Okay, everyone. So here we go. We have learned about the water harvesting. We have learned about great aqueducts, and also
about
Virupaksha temple. Yes, about Virupaksha temple. Well done, everyone, and namaste. See you in next video.
See you.